Today, I want to share something that can really change how you learn English. It's simple, fun, and works better than many other ways. It's called reading. Yes, just reading. Let me show you why it's so helpful. Maybe you think reading is boring or hard. That's okay. Many people feel the same way at first, but reading is not just looking at words. It's a powerful tool that helps you learn English without stress. Imagine you want to speak English easily, like someone who has used the language for many years. You want to talk to others without stopping to think too much. You also want to understand movies and songs. Reading can help you do all of that. It gives you the words, the grammar, and the feeling of the language. When you read often, you start to feel more comfortable using English, just like you do in your own language. You don't need to study long grammar books or make word lists every day. When you read, you see how words are used in real life. You start to understand grammar naturally, just by reading more and more. Reading is like having a small English teacher with you all the time. It's always ready to help. Every time you open a book, a story, or even a short article online, you're learning, even if you don't notice it. You can choose what to read based on what you like. Do you enjoy stories, comics, or news? Pick something fun and simple. It doesn't matter what you read, as long as you enjoy it and understand most of it. When you read, your brain starts to learn English in a natural way. You see how people talk, how they ask questions, and how they describe things. You also get used to the way English sentences are built. Let's say you're reading a short story about a girl and her dog. As you read, you see new words. You also see old words used in new ways. This helps you grow your vocabulary and learn without much effort. Reading often helps you remember words better. If you see the same word in many stories, it starts to stay in your mind. Later, when you want to speak, that word will come to you easily, almost like magic. Also, when you read, you improve your imagination. You can picture the story in your head, and this helps you connect with the words more. You're not just reading, you're living the story in your mind. This makes learning English feel easy and fun. You are not just studying, you're enjoying something interesting. This feeling is very important. It helps you come back to reading again and again. You don't need to understand every single word. It's okay to guess. Look at the other words in the sentence. Many times you can understand what a new word means just by reading the whole sentence. That's how babies learn to speak. They hear the same words many times in different ways. Slowly, they begin to understand them and use them. Reading helps you learn English in the same natural way. If you read a little every day, your English will improve step by step. You'll start to think in English without trying. That's how real learning happens, not from pressure, but from small steps and regular practice. The best part is that you can read almost anywhere. You can read on your phone, a computer, or from a book. You can read while waiting for a bus, during lunch, or before bed. It fits easily into your life. Reading is not a test. You don't have to be perfect. You're not reading to get a score. You're reading to enjoy, to learn, and to feel better with English. That's what makes it so special and helpful. Some people think speaking is the only way to learn. But speaking becomes easier when your mind is full of words and ideas. Reading gives you those words and ideas. It's like filling a basket with tools. Later, when you need to speak, those tools are ready for you. You don't have to search for words. They just come. You speak more freely, with more confidence, and you enjoy using the language more. Reading also helps you feel more connected to the world. You can read about other people's lives, places, and cultures. This gives you more to talk about and helps you connect with others through English. If you start reading today, even for just 10 minutes, you'll see a big change. In 1 week, you'll know more words. In 1 month, you'll speak more easily. In 1 year, you'll feel like a new person. Don't wait until your English is perfect. Start with easy things. It could be a children's story, a comic, or a blog post. Anything simple and fun is a great place to begin. What matters is that you start. So remember this: reading is not boring. It is one of the best things you can do to learn English. It's simple, it's fun, and it works. The more you read, the more your English starts to feel like a part of you. You won't need to think in your own language first. The words will come to you naturally because you've seen and understood them many times before. Reading also helps your brain connect ideas better. You start to understand how one sentence leads to another. You learn how to tell stories, how to describe things, and how to explain your thoughts clearly using the right English words. Think of reading like feeding your brain healthy food. Each word and sentence gives your brain energy to grow stronger in English. Just like your body needs food every day, your brain needs regular reading to become faster and smarter in English. Sometimes you may come across new words you don't understand. Don't worry. Try to guess their meaning from the sentence. Over time, these words will start to feel more familiar. You don't need to stop and check every single word. If you want, you can write down new words in a small notebook. Try using them in your own sentences later. This way, you learn how to use the words, not just remember them. The more you use them, the easier they become. Reading also helps you think about things in a new way. Stories can show you different lives, cultures, and feelings. You can learn how people in other parts of the world live, what they dream about, and how they speak English in daily life. This can make your conversations more interesting. You will have more to talk about. Maybe you read a story about someone helping others, and it inspires you. Later, when you talk with someone, you can share what you learned or how it made you feel. Reading makes you a better listener, too. When you read, your brain becomes faster at understanding English. So, when someone speaks to you, you can catch the meaning more quickly. Reading and listening are like friends. They help each other grow stronger. Try reading out loud sometimes. It helps your mouth and tongue get used to English sounds. You practice your pronunciation and improve your speaking flow. Reading out loud is like talking to yourself, and it helps you feel more confident speaking to others. Even short daily reading helps a lot. Just like brushing your teeth every day keeps your smile healthy, reading every day keeps your English strong. Small habits bring big results, and your English gets better day by day without stress. Another good idea is to read different types of things. You can read short stories, news, blog posts, or even fun comics. If you enjoy what you read, you will remember the words better. Reading becomes something fun, not a task. You don't need to understand every single thing to enjoy reading. Focus on the main idea. Try to enjoy the story or message. With practice, your understanding will grow. Be patient with yourself and give your brain time to learn. Remember, mistakes are okay. You might not say everything perfectly, and that's fine. Even native speakers make mistakes. Reading helps you feel more sure about how to use English, and soon your words will sound more natural and clear. The best part is you can read anywhere, on your phone, at home, on a bus, or during lunch. You don't need a classroom to learn. English is always around you, and every little moment can be a chance to read and learn. Reading also helps you relax. When you find a story you like, it can feel like a small break from a busy day. You enjoy a few quiet minutes, and at the same time, your English is improving. Try reading with a friend. You can take turns reading out loud and talk about the story together. It's a fun way to learn, and you help each other grow. You can also ask questions if you don't understand something. Soon, you'll notice that English is becoming part of your daily life. You might start thinking in English sometimes, or you might dream in English. That's a sign your brain is getting comfortable with the language, and it's something to feel proud of. You'll also notice that writing becomes easier, because when you see a lot of good English in stories, your own writing starts to improve. You remember the sentence patterns and word choices you saw in your reading. Even your spelling gets better with reading. When you see words again and again, your brain remembers how they look. You'll make fewer mistakes when writing because you've seen the correct form many times before. And finally, reading gives you freedom. You can learn at your own pace, choose what you like, and enjoy the process. You don't need a teacher all the time. The story becomes your teacher, and every sentence helps you grow. So take a step today. Pick something simple to read. Enjoy the story, laugh at the funny parts, feel the emotions, and celebrate every word you understand. Every time you read, you're becoming a better English speaker. And that's something amazing. Reading is not just learning, it's growing, feeling, and exploring. The more you read, the more confident you'll feel. The words will become your friends, and the stories will open doors to a new world where you can speak and understand English with joy. The more you read, the less you have to stop and think when you want to speak. Your brain starts to remember the sentences and phrases you've seen. When it's time to talk, the right words come out naturally and easily. Reading is like collecting helpful tools. Each time you read, you find new words and expressions. These are like little treasures you can use later when you speak. The more you read, the more tools you add to your language box. Imagine reading a story about a girl exploring the jungle. You might learn words like wild, explore, adventure, or mystery. These are not boring textbook words. They are fun and colorful. They help you imagine the scenes clearly in your mind. When you talk to someone about something exciting, these words will come back. Instead of saying, "It was fun," you might say, "It was an amazing adventure." Doesn't that sound better? That's the power of reading. It makes your English more alive. Reading helps you remember words better because you see them in real use. You understand how they work in a sentence. You don't just memorize a list, you learn how to use the words naturally in your own speaking and writing. As you keep reading, your brain gets used to how English works. It remembers grammar, sentence patterns, and common phrases. You don't need to stop and translate from your first language. You begin to think and speak directly in English. That's a big step for English learners. Many people get stuck because they think in their own language first, then try to change it into English. That takes time, and often causes mistakes. Reading helps you skip that step over time. Let's say you often see a sentence like, "She's not feeling well today." After seeing it a few times, you'll remember it. Later, when you want to say something similar, the phrase will pop into your head easily and naturally. You'll also get better at understanding how people really speak. You'll learn everyday phrases like, "No way," "Sounds great," or "I can't wait." These aren't always taught in class, but they are common in stories, dialogues, and articles. Reading often shows you how people talk in real situations. You'll see how friends speak to each other, how parents talk to kids, or how someone explains their feelings. This gives you a big advantage when you want to join conversations. You start to hear English in your head. You notice how it sounds and feels. You understand which words go together. That's why reading is so important. It helps you feel the language, not just know it. This helps you speak smoothly. Reading also helps you understand tone and emotion. You learn how to express feelings like surprise, happiness, anger, or worry. You see how words are used to show mood. Later, you can use these same words in your own conversations. You'll also see how questions are asked, how people give advice, or how they make polite requests. Reading shows all these things in action, so when you speak, you already know how to do it. You feel more ready and confident. Try reading different kinds of texts: stories, short articles, conversations, blogs, comics, or even social media posts. All can help. The important thing is to read something that interests you. When it's fun, you'll want to read more. If you like music, try reading song lyrics. If you enjoy sports, read about your favorite teams. If you like cooking, read recipes. All of this counts as reading and helps you learn English in a natural and enjoyable way. Reading doesn't need to take a long time. Even 10 minutes a day is helpful. You can read before bed, during breakfast, or while waiting for a bus. These small times each day will slowly build your skills without stress. Also, reading out loud can be very useful. It helps your tongue and mouth get used to English sounds. You start to feel more comfortable speaking. It also helps you notice how sentences are said with rhythm and emotion. If you see a sentence you like, try copying it. Write it down. Then try changing it to fit your own life. For example, "He went to the park to relax" becomes, "I went to the beach to relax." This builds fluency. When you use the sentences you've read, you start to sound more natural. You stop saying everything word by word and begin to speak in full ideas. People will understand you better, and you will feel good about your English. Little by little, reading helped you grow. You don't need to rush. Just enjoy the journey. Every page you read adds something new to your English. Every sentence is one small step forward. It's a simple and powerful way to learn. So next time you have a few free minutes, pick up a short story, open a blog, or scroll through a simple article online. Your brain will thank you. The more you read, the easier speaking becomes, and the more fun it gets. Reading is not just about words, it's about learning how to express who you are, what you feel, and what you think. It gives you the power to connect with others in a new language and share your ideas clearly and confidently. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. It's okay if you don't know every word. Keep going. The important thing is to enjoy reading and keep practicing. Each new word and sentence brings you closer to becoming a great English speaker. So keep reading, keep learning, and keep growing. You're doing great, and your future English self will thank you for every page you read today. When you read often, your brain begins to think in English without you trying. Imagine this. You're reading a short story about a boy who loves soccer. You're so into the story that you forget about each word and just enjoy it. As you follow the story, you see pictures in your mind. You understand what's happening without stopping to think about every word. Slowly, without even noticing, you stop translating from your own language. English starts to feel normal and easy. This is one of the best ways to become fluent. You don't need to force yourself to remember grammar rules or think too hard. The more you read, the more your brain starts using English naturally, just like your first language. Reading also helps you become a better listener. You may ask, how can reading help with listening? The answer is simple. Reading shows you how English works. You get used to the words, phrases, and the way sentences are built. When someone speaks English to you, your brain will already know many of the words and sentence patterns from your reading. That means you can understand them faster and easier. You don't have to guess as much or feel confused. It's like hearing a song for the first time. At first, the words might sound unclear. But if you listen to the same song again and again, you start to understand every line. Reading does the same thing for your listening. The more you read, the more you can understand spoken English. Whether you're listening to a friend, watching a movie, or playing a podcast, your brain will be ready. Your ears will know the words and sounds already. Reading trains your eyes to see English, and it also trains your ears to hear it. This makes everything feel easier and more natural. You'll feel more confident when talking with others because your brain has already seen and heard so much. Think about something you know well, maybe cooking, driving, or using your phone. When you know how to do something, you feel sure of yourself. The same is true with English. The more you read, the more you know, and the more ready you feel. When you read, you learn new words and understand how people use them. This helps you speak more clearly and with more meaning. You can join conversations more easily and share your thoughts with confidence and comfort. Imagine you read a story about someone who works as a chef in a fancy restaurant. Later, when you talk to someone about food, you can say, I read about this amazing chef who makes the best dishes. Now you sound interesting and smart. You're not just repeating simple things you heard in class. You're bringing new ideas and examples from stories you've read. This makes your speaking better and more fun. People will enjoy talking to you and hearing your thoughts. So, how much should you read every day? You don't need to read for a long time. Just 10 or 15 minutes a day is enough to see big changes. What matters most is reading every day and not stopping after a few tries. Find a time that fits your day. It could be in the morning with your tea, during your lunch break, or at night before bed. Choose a time that feels easy for you and make it a part of your daily habit. You don't have to finish a whole book at once. Start small, just one page or one short story. If you keep doing it every day, your brain will get stronger in English and you will start to enjoy the process more and more. Choose stories or books that you like. If you enjoy the topic, it will feel fun and not like hard work. You can read about love, sports, travel, food, or anything else that makes you smile or feel curious. As you read more, you'll notice that your English is improving in all areas. You can write better, listen better, speak more easily, and even think more clearly in English. Reading helps with everything, not just one skill. And remember, it's okay if you don't understand every word. Don't stop every time you see a new word. Try to guess what it means from the sentence. The more you read, the better you get at understanding new words this way. This makes you more independent. You won't need help from a teacher or a dictionary all the time. You'll feel strong and ready to face new words and learn on your own just by reading more and more. When you read stories, you also learn about people, cultures, and emotions. You understand how others think, feel, and talk. This makes your English not only better, but also more real, more human, and more connected to the world. You'll be able to share more interesting things when you speak. You can tell others about the books you read, the characters you liked, and the lessons you learned. These stories become part of your own voice in English. So don't wait for the perfect time or perfect book. Just start reading something simple today. Enjoy the story. Feel the words. Let your brain grow stronger in English one page at a time. And remember, every word you read is a step toward becoming a confident, fluent English speaker. You're doing great. Keep going. You're building your English with every single page. Reading every day helps you build a strong habit. You don't have to think about it much once it becomes part of your routine. Slowly, without pressure, your English will improve. You may not notice it at first, but others will. Think of reading like a fun trip. Each book or story takes you to a new place. You learn how people live, what they feel, and how they speak. You can visit faraway lands without leaving your chair or buying a plane ticket. As you travel through stories, you learn new ways to say things. You start to understand how to describe places, people, and feelings. Each story gives you more tools to use when you speak or write in English. Reading is like cooking your favorite meal. Every word you learn is like an ingredient. The more good ingredients you use, the better the dish tastes. The more words and phrases you collect, the better your English becomes. Your English gets richer and more colorful. You can say more than just good or bad. You can say amazing, terrible, or exciting. These words help people understand what you really mean and make your speaking more interesting. When you read often, you build a big word bank in your brain. You'll be able to pick the right words when you need them. You won't need to stop and think so much when talking. The words will come more quickly and naturally. Stories and conversations in books show how people really talk. Textbooks are useful, but sometimes they only teach formal English. In stories, you'll see phrases like, "What's up?" or "I gotta go," which people use in real life. This kind of real English is what you need for daily life. If you hear someone say, "I'm gonna grab lunch," and you've seen it in a story, you'll understand it right away. Reading teaches you to be ready for real conversations. You won't be confused when someone uses short forms or friendly phrases. You'll already know them from books and stories. This makes it easier to talk to others and feel like part of the group. It helps you fit in better. Reading gives you more than just words. It gives you the feeling of how English sounds and flows. You get used to the rhythm and style of how people speak. Your own English will start to sound more smooth and natural too. The more you read, the more you learn how to express feelings, describe things, and tell stories. You'll be able to say what you think and feel in a clear and strong way. This makes you a better speaker and a better listener. Reading also helps your writing. If you read good English, your brain remembers the way sentences are written. Later, when you write something yourself, it becomes easier. You already know what looks and sounds right in English. It's like training your brain. You see the same grammar and sentence forms again and again in books. Your brain gets used to them. You don't need to remember rules because you've seen the correct way many times while reading. This means less stress for you. You don't have to worry about grammar so much. You just write and speak naturally because your brain already knows what sounds right. Reading makes this process smoother and more fun. You might be thinking, what if I don't understand everything I read? That's okay. You don't need to understand every single word. Try to understand the main idea. Guess new words from the sentence or the picture if there is one. Little by little, those new words will become clear. And soon, you'll see them again in another story. That's how your brain learns, by seeing the same word used in different ways in different places again and again. You'll start to notice how people say things differently in happy, sad, funny, or serious situations. This helps you speak with more feeling and understanding. You'll know how to use the right tone and words in every situation. Think about a time when you read a story that made you laugh or feel something special. Those are the stories that stay with you. They help you remember English not just as a subject, but as a part of your life. Reading also makes you curious. You might want to learn more about a place, a job, or a feeling you saw in a story. That curiosity helps you keep learning. You search for more words, more stories, and more English. And the best part? You're enjoying yourself while learning. You're not sitting in a boring classroom. You're reading a fun story, learning without pressure, and making real progress. It doesn't feel like hard work, but it's powerful. Try to find stories that make you smile or surprise you. Pick things you enjoy. Funny stories, adventures, love stories, comics, or even news for kids. If you like what you're reading, you'll want to read more and more. You don't need a big, heavy book. A short story or a few pages are enough. The important thing is to keep going. Even a few minutes a day helps your English grow stronger, like a plant getting water each day. So next time you have a few minutes free, pick up something in English to read. Let your brain enjoy the words. Let the pictures come into your mind. Let the language become part of your everyday world. Every word you read takes you one step closer to fluency. Every page you turn is like a small win. Reading helps you learn English in the easiest, happiest way possible. Keep going. You're doing something amazing. When you read often, the words and phrases start to feel easy. You begin to understand them quickly. Then when you speak, you don't sound like you're reading from a textbook. You sound more relaxed and more natural, like a real speaker. That's the magic of reading. It helps you use English in a way that feels smooth. You don't have to stop and think about every word. The words just come to you because you've seen them so many times in stories. So, why not start reading today? Now, you know how much reading can help your English. Think about how great it will feel to speak clearly, use new words, and not be shy anymore. That can be a reality just by reading a little each day. Reading is simple, fun, and powerful. It doesn't feel like study time. It feels more like playtime. But your brain is learning in the background. You don't need to do hard grammar exercises. You just enjoy the story and grow your skills. Pick something that makes you excited. It could be a short story, a fun comic, a magazine, or even a blog post. Choose something about your hobbies or favorite topics. This way, learning English becomes something you actually look forward to. If you're just starting, it's a good idea to read things that are made for beginners. There are many simple books and stories with easy English. They use words you already know and slowly add new ones to help you grow step by step. Don't worry if you don't understand every single word. That's normal. The important thing is to understand the main idea of what you're reading. Keep going. Even if you miss a word or two, you'll still learn a lot. Try to enjoy what you're reading. The more fun you have, the more you want to keep going. And the more you read, the more natural your English becomes. You don't need to feel bored. English can be fun, friendly, and full of surprises. Now, here's a great tip. Every time you see a new word, don't rush to memorize it. Just look at how it is used in the sentence. Try to guess what it means from the other words around it. This helps your brain remember it better. Think of every new word like a small treasure. You find it in a story, and it becomes part of your collection. You see it a few more times, and then one day, without even trying, you use it in your own sentence. That feels amazing. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, it feels strange, but after some practice, you don't even think. You just ride. That's what reading does with English. You practice without stress, and one day you just start speaking better. Don't try to remember every new word at once. It's okay to forget some. The important words will come back to you again and again in different stories. That's how your brain knows they're important and keeps them. Also, repeat reading things you enjoy. If you read something you like twice or even 3 times, it becomes easier to understand. The second time, you will notice new words or phrases. The third time, it will feel more natural. And when you speak, those words are ready to use. They come to your mind easily. This gives you more confidence to join conversations, answer questions, or even tell your own stories in English. You don't have to read for hours. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day is enough. Pick a time that works for you, after breakfast, during lunch, or before sleep. Keep it short, simple, and fun. That's how habits are built. Soon, you'll see the change. You'll understand more when people talk to you. You'll answer faster. You'll enjoy movies, songs, or podcasts more, and you'll feel proud of yourself because you've improved in a fun, easy way. And remember, reading is not about being perfect. It's about getting better little by little. Every page you read is one more step toward fluency. Every word you understand is one more tool in your English toolbox. You can do this. Reading is for everyone, kids, adults, beginners, or advanced learners. It's your secret weapon for learning English without stress. It's friendly, simple, and always ready to help you grow. So start today. Open a story, read a few lines, enjoy the pictures in your mind, and let English become part of your world. You'll be surprised at how much you can learn, just one page at a time. When you read a sentence like, "The sky was gloomy," you might not know what gloomy means right away. But from the sentence, you can guess that it probably means the sky was dark or not very cheerful. This is a great way to learn. You don't need to run to a dictionary every time you find a new word. Just try to guess its meaning from the words around it. This guessing game helps your brain get better at understanding English without always translating. You can also keep a small notebook to write down new words you like. This notebook can be your word journal. But don't try to remember everything all at once. Just look at your words sometimes and read them in new stories. The more you read, the more often you will see the same words again. After seeing a word a few times, your brain remembers it naturally. You'll be surprised how some words just come back to you when you need them. Let's say you read a sentence like, "The little dog dashed across the yard." You might guess that dashed means ran quickly. The next time you want to talk about running fast, the word dashed might pop into your head. This is like building a toolbox for English. Each new word is a tool you can use when you need to explain something. The more tools you have, the easier it is to speak clearly and confidently in English. Reading also helps you learn how sentences are built. You don't need to sit and study grammar rules. Just like children learn to speak by listening, you can learn to write and speak better by reading lots of good sentences. Your brain starts to notice how words are used together. You begin to feel what sounds right. You might not be able to name the grammar rule, but you'll know how to use the sentence correctly. Here's a fun way to practice. Pick a short sentence from your book or article. For example, "She went to the store because she needed some milk." Now try to make your own sentence using the same pattern. You can say, "He went to the library because he needed a book," or "I went to the park because I needed some fresh air." This small exercise helps you build speaking and writing skills without memorizing boring grammar rules. Doing this often will make you feel more confident. You won't have to stop and think about every word. You'll be able to speak more freely, using full and correct sentences that sound natural. Reading gives you examples of how people really talk. These are not just textbook sentences. They're the kind of phrases and ideas you hear in daily life. They show emotion, feelings, and action in a natural way. You might read a story where someone says, "I was over the moon when I got the job." This is more fun and interesting than just saying, "I was happy." It adds color and feeling to your words. When you read these kinds of expressions often, you start to use them yourself. You will sound more like a native speaker, and people will enjoy talking to you because you can express ideas in fun and clear ways. Sometimes it's helpful to read out loud. Choose a short paragraph and read it slowly with good pronunciation. Do this a few times, then try to say it without looking. This will help your speaking become smoother and more natural. This is also great practice for your mouth and tongue. English sounds can feel strange at first, but reading out loud helps you get used to them. It's like exercise for your speaking muscles. Another helpful tip is to imagine you're reading to a friend. This can help you put emotion and rhythm into your voice. You're not just reading words, you're sharing a story. That's what real conversation feels like. Reading stories gives you so much more than just words. You learn how to connect ideas. You feel how people express feelings. You see how conversations go back and forth. All this helps you speak better and listen better too. And remember, you don't have to read big, difficult books. Start with short, easy ones. Even a small story or a fun comic can teach you new things. The most important part is that you enjoy what you are reading. When you enjoy reading, you learn faster, you remember better, and you feel more excited to keep going. Learning English doesn't have to feel like work. It can feel like fun, like discovering something new every day. So next time you read, don't worry about understanding every single word. Look at the sentence. Think about the meaning. Enjoy the story. And trust that your brain is learning even when you don't notice it. Every story you read is helping you grow. You're collecting words, learning how to build sentences, and getting better at speaking. That's the magic of reading. It works quietly, but it changes everything. Let reading be your teacher, your friend, and your guide. Keep a notebook, try new sentences, read out loud, and most of all, have fun. Your English will get stronger day by day, one page at a time. When you read a sentence like, "She went to the store because she needed some milk," try to make your own version. For example, he went to the library because he needed a book. This is great speaking practice. Making your own sentences using the patterns you read helps you speak more naturally. It also helps you think in English instead of translating from your own language. This simple habit builds your confidence and makes you more comfortable with English. One of the best parts of learning English through reading is that you can change things anytime. If you get bored, you can read something different. You're in control, and you can make your learning fun and interesting. Stories and novels are a fun way to learn English. They take you to new places and let you imagine new people and events. If you're a beginner, try reading simple books. Children's books are often short, fun, and easy to follow. If you don't have much time, short articles or blog posts are perfect. You can read about hobbies, food, travel, or everyday life. Many blogs use simple English, and they give you useful words you can use in your daily conversations. Comics and graphic novels are also great. They have pictures that help you understand the story, even if some words are new. The conversations in comics are short and natural, just like people speak in real life, so they're great for practice. Magazines can be helpful too. Choose a magazine on a topic you enjoy, like sports, music, fashion, or health. The articles are usually short and full of useful phrases. It's a fun way to learn about something you like. Using English. Reading often also helps you feel more confident when you speak. Many people feel nervous about speaking English. They're afraid of making mistakes or not knowing the right words. That fear can stop them from trying. Reading can help fix that. When you read, you see how English sentences are made. You learn how people express feelings and share ideas. You don't just learn words, you learn how to use them in real life. That gives you the confidence to speak without fear. Reading also shows you that making mistakes is okay. Even in stories, characters don't speak perfectly all the time. This reminds you that learning a language is a journey. Every sentence you read helps you move one step forward. Try this small tip. After reading a sentence, stop and say it out loud. Then change a word or two to make your own version. Do this often, and it will train your brain to build sentences quickly and easily. For example, if you read, "They sat by the fire and talked," you can say, "We sat by the window and studied." It may seem simple, but doing this many times helps you become a better speaker without even realizing it. Also, reading can be relaxing. After a long day, reading a short story or article can calm your mind. It doesn't feel like hard study. It feels like a break, but you're still learning and growing your English at the same time. Another idea is to keep a small notebook or use your phone to save interesting phrases you like. You don't have to write full meanings. Just note down words or sentences you might want to use in your speaking or writing later. Later, you can try using those phrases when talking with a friend or writing a short message. It's exciting when you see how something you read becomes part of how you speak. It shows that you're really improving and learning. Reading in English gives you more than grammar and vocabulary. It gives you the tools to express your thoughts clearly. It makes you feel more free when using the language. You begin to enjoy English, not just study it. So next time you open a book, blog, or comic, remember, it's not just reading, it's training your mind. It's helping you build stronger English, one word and one sentence at a time, in a fun and simple way. The more you read, the more your brain gets used to the sound and flow of English. You begin to notice patterns and phrases without even trying. It's like your brain is learning the rhythm of the language in a natural way. You may start to say things that you once read in a book or an article. These expressions come to your mind without much thinking. You won't just memorize English anymore. You'll begin to feel it and use it more easily. For example, maybe you read a sentence like, "I'm over the moon about this new job." You might not plan to use it, but next time you feel really happy, the same sentence may come out of your mouth. This kind of language is fun, colorful, and helps you sound more natural. It also builds your confidence. People enjoy hearing expressions that show emotion. Reading gives you those tools, and soon you'll start using them without any effort. Try reading some short sentences out loud now and then. It's one of the best ways to practice how English sounds. When you say words aloud, your mouth gets used to English sounds, and you begin to speak more smoothly. It's like having a small conversation with yourself. Reading aloud helps your tongue and lips learn how to form the words correctly. It also helps your ears listen to your own voice and match it to the sound of English. Here's a little tip to try. Choose a simple sentence from what you're reading. Read it out loud a few times until it feels comfortable. Then close the book and say the sentence again from memory. It's great practice. You'll notice your voice becoming clearer and more confident. This simple activity makes your speaking feel more natural, as if you're sharing a story with a friend. The words start to flow, and you don't need to pause or think too much. Reading doesn't have to be only about books. English is everywhere in your daily life. Try reading signs on the street, food labels in the kitchen, or short messages on your phone. These small moments help build your vocabulary in fun ways. For example, if you're cooking, read the recipe in English. You'll see words like boil, stir, or add. Since you're using them right away, you'll remember them easily. These small learning moments make English feel useful and real. If you like health, fashion, or travel, try reading articles about those topics online. Choose short ones with easy language. They'll help you learn new words while also keeping you interested. You'll enjoy it more and learn faster that way. Step by step, these small reading moments add up. Reading 5 minutes a day is better than nothing. And soon, reading in English feels like a normal part of your life. It becomes almost as easy as breathing or walking. You'll also notice something else happening. Your brain will start picking up your favorite kinds of words or styles. You may find you like funny words, strong words, or words that describe how people feel. You begin to shape your own English style. Each time you read, you're growing your English in a personal way. You're not just learning from a book, you're making the language your own. It feels more alive, more real, and more useful in your daily conversations with others. When this happens, you start to feel excited about learning English. You're not just doing it for school or for work. You're doing it because it makes life more interesting and it helps you understand the world around you. Reading gives you many gifts. New words, better pronunciation, smoother speaking, and a stronger connection to the language. But most of all, it gives you the freedom to express yourself in a new way, with more color and meaning. Every time you read a story or an article in English, you are growing your own way of using the language. Each writer has their own voice, and by reading different writers, you begin to find your own voice too. Some authors write in a fun and playful way, others may be more serious or emotional. As you read more, you will start to notice what you like. Maybe you enjoy stories that are funny or ones that are full of feeling. After a while, you'll begin to use words or expressions you've read before. You might not even realize it. The words just come out when you speak or write. This is because your brain remembers them through stories and examples. Let's say you enjoy an author who writes in a light and humorous way. Without planning, you might start using similar funny words when you talk to friends. This makes your English more natural and more fun. Reading is also a great way to grow your creativity. You learn new ideas and ways of thinking. You don't just copy words. You start thinking in English, imagining new things, and talking about different topics with more confidence. When you read, you also become more curious. Maybe one day you read about animals, and the next day about space or technology. Each time you read something new, your mind becomes bigger, and your English gets better. For example, imagine you read about the Northern Lights. You not only learn the English words used to describe them, but you also learn something beautiful about the world. That's double learning, and it stays with you. The more you read, the more things you'll want to talk about. You'll have more to say in conversations, and you'll sound more interesting. You won't just talk about the weather. You can share stories, fun facts, and ideas too. Reading makes you feel more connected to the world. You read about people in different places, their thoughts, their culture, and how they live. Slowly, English becomes more than a subject. It becomes your bridge to the bigger world. This is the best part of reading in English. It doesn't feel like a school task. It feels like going on a journey. You're not only learning a language, you're learning how to understand people and the world in a deeper way. Each story you read, each article you enjoy is like a small step forward. You become stronger in grammar without thinking about rules. You improve your vocabulary just by enjoying what you read. This is a natural and easy way to learn. Reading also helps your pronunciation and fluency, even when you read silently. Your brain gets used to the way English works. When you speak, the words feel more familiar. They flow more easily and naturally, like you've used them before. Some people think learning English must be hard and boring, but reading shows that learning can be fun and exciting. You're not just studying, You're experiencing new ideas, new places, and new voices through the power of English. So what can you do? Choose something simple and fun to read. It can be a short blog, a funny comic, a short story, or even a news article. Just make sure it's something you enjoy, so reading never feels like a task. Read for a few minutes every day. It doesn't have to be long. Even 10 minutes can make a big difference. The key is doing it often, because the more you read, the faster your English grows. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. That's okay. Try to understand the general idea. Over time, you will start to recognize more words and phrases. You'll be surprised at how much you can learn just by reading regularly. Reading helps with listening, too. When you read stories or dialogues, you learn how people speak in daily life. Then when you hear similar phrases in a conversation or movie, they feel familiar, and that gives you confidence. Reading also prepares you to write better. The more examples you see, the easier it becomes to write your own thoughts. You know how to start a sentence, how to build a paragraph, and how to make your ideas clear. And best of all, reading gives you your own special style in English. Maybe you like to sound funny, or maybe you prefer a kind and soft tone. Whatever your style, reading helps you discover it and use it with pride. So the big message is this: reading is more than just learning English. It is a doorway to new words, new knowledge, and even a new you. It opens your mind and brings English into your life in a natural way. Keep reading. Let stories guide you. Let ideas inspire you. Let new words become part of your voice. With every page, you grow. With every sentence, you learn. And one day, without even noticing, you'll be fluent. Let reading take you farther than you imagined. It will bring you confidence, joy, and the freedom to speak and understand English in your own special way. That is the real gift of reading. That is the power of stories.